Researching the time spirit means, first of all, to understand the signature of the time, to catch the essence of the time, the the main topics that we have to deal with as mankind. It can be for a longer term, it can be for a few years, it can be maybe for 10, 15 years even, but this is now not the question that I want to work on. First of all, the first step is understanding the signature. The second step that I see where this research would help us in is to understand the learning step of this topic. Why do we face all the same question now in the moment? Why do we face this topic? What should we learn as mankind? A third step would be to see in what kind of directions these topics might develop. So to say, on the one hand, to see the dangers where it could develop to, and on the other hand, to see also the possibilities that we have here. And a very last step I see, and this is already more connected to my acts, to the acts of me as a member of EMO, and also I think for the whole EMO community, to understand how to help our clients in their organizations to make a constructive move, answering the challenges of the time spirit. To give a more concrete example how this might develop, so when we look already, let's say maybe 2 years ago already, it started to be obvious that we are living now again in a time of polarization. We have a polarization in policy, very strong in religions. We have a polarization in concepts, for example, that one strong man, what we see now everywhere in Europe, also coming up in Russia, in the States, one strong man who is a big decision maker. This is versus a community, that the community together finds through participation new moves and comes to decisions where everybody can contend with, kind of more constructive work. So we see everywhere where we look, we see now this polarization. The first point was to catch this, to understand that, yes, okay, we are now in the time of polarization. The next step would be to understand, what is the learning task here? Because we could also say, polarization, this is not good. It's not good. It's somehow kind of, it's too aggressive, somehow, But this is already the point how we work with this polarization, The first thing is to understand what might be what might be the benefit of this. And I personally think that polarization gives us the opportunity to find very exactly our values, to define very exactly our identity, to really to make conscious step out of some gray, I would say, some gray, some not right understood political correctness and stuff like this. Really to say, this I am. Okay, look at me now. This I am. So I'm not playing anymore. I really come to some real statement, to some real positioning. And that's not bad. I mean, that's very good. If it really helps. It really helps. No, if it really, it helps to develop, to go on with the development. But now we come to the third step. The question is how we are dealing then with these polarities. And here, of course, we see dangers. And the biggest dangers we also see, it's war. So war is also kind of, it was for very long time, it was a signature of for centuries actually. And I think it was because of consciousness, because for developing consciousness. Because when you have this existential fear, then it's not no play anymore. Then you have to be who you are. You have to position yourself. But of course, it's not good. It's not good that we have wars. And how many wars do we have now in the moment in the world? It's horrible. So the way how we work with the polarities, that is a very important thing. We can work constructively with it, and we can work with it, we can destroy everything. So here I see actually the fourth step, and this would be already for the emo community, is already for the emo community reality, that we are thinking about how can we help people to not to come into extreme positions, but to see, but at the same time to stay in a constructive dialogue. So this I see the four different kind of moves that follow out of the work that we can call research on the time spirit. First, to catch it, then to understand the learning task, then to see the different scenarios where it can go to, positive and negative, and then to think about, let's call it now instrumentalization, yeah, kind of how to work with this constructively. When we don't work with this time spirit consciously, when we don't understand it, when we follow only some, let's say, fashions, or when we follow some kind of reactive patterns, yeah, something awful is happening and now I have to react, then we are not free. We can't work constructively anymore. We are in such an existential pressure that we will do something, and most probably something that is not going to help us. We will work aggressively. We just saw it with this immigration stuff in Germany, what came out of that, and is still coming out of this. So working on time spirit means also to give us something in our hands that we foresee already where the scenarios might go to. So we are kind of in a proactive situation, not in a reactive. And I think this is maybe the most important thing from a certain point of view, that we stay proactive and that we don't become victims of the time. So work on the time spirit means to become actors and not victims.